What's going on, everybody? Christian Ballard of Ballard Sports Media. We are live tonight on a Monday night with the Unprofessional Sports Show. Yes, it is just me tonight. What are we going to talk about? I don't know. We'll recap some rivalry games. And then I do want to go ahead and start tonight with previews for conference weekend. We're going to preview Clemson and North Carolina for the ACC championship. By the way, it's actually the Subway ACC championship. I think that's kind of cool. I like Subway. Good sandwiches. But do me a favor. Hit that thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button if you're new to the channel. We're live on Facebook and YouTube tonight. How was everybody's weekend? Mine was amazing. It was really great. Had some great college football action. Got to go visit a friend too. A lot of great stuff happening. Anyway, that being said, we're going to break it down. We're going to recap rivalry weekend, and we're going to talk about some of these games, and then I'll be here all week. Of course, I'm, off Thanksgiving break, trying to get back into some schoolwork. That's very important, but I'm still going to try to find time to do before the weekend conference championship previews. And tonight we're going to, and I'll clip it and upload it later. But tonight we're going to look at Clemson and North Carolina. Before we do that, let's go ahead and look at some of these games this past weekend, rivalry weekend in college football. Let's start with the Egg Bowl. One of my favorite rivalries. I like that it's on its own day. The Egg Bowl. Mississippi State advances to 8 wins. Ole Miss advances to 4 losses. Both teams with the same record. That's pretty cool. Lane Kiffin, a lot of rumors about him leaving. Did that play a part in them losing this game? I don't know. But Lane Kiffin going to Auburn, that is not the case. We talked earlier about how all the different candidates for Auburn. Hugh Freeze is set to go to the Plains. But the Egg Bowl. Mississippi State, 24. Ole Miss, 22. Mississippi State outscored pretty much in every quarter. In a way, 7-6 at the end of the first. Mississippi did, end up outscoring 10-7. In the second quarter. And in a way, it was 16-14 at the half. There was a scoreless third quarter. And then 10-6, Mississippi State finds a way to win the game. And they pulled it off. They outscored 10-6 in the fourth quarter. Will Rogers had the game of his life. 27-39, 239 yards, 2 touchdowns and a pick. Jackson Dart had a great game. 30-38, 250 yards, 2 touchdowns. Quinshaw Jukins, 22 carries for 91 yards. Mississippi, or Ole Miss, however you want to call it. It's Mississippi. Ole Miss is not one to run Wade. 8 receptions, 88 yards, and a touchdown. You look at Jaquavius Marks for um, Mississippi State, 14 carries running, and he got 76 yards and a touchdown. Um, you know, there were some things in this game where Mississippi State just wanted to win more. Truly, they were 8 of 16 on third down compared to Ole Miss, who was 4 of 17. Having more first downs, having more yard by 1 yard. That's hard to do. Look at this: 336 for Mississippi State, 335 for Ole Miss. It was really that they were able to run the ball is what helped them. I mean, they averaged 2.6 yards a carry off 37 rushing attempts and had 97 rushing yards. Mississippi State even had more penalties and they still won the game. They had 3 turnovers and they still won the game. Had more time of possession too. They had 3 turnovers, 336 yards, first down, and more ball this year. And the Bulldogs get it done. And a terrific performance. Next up, we don't even need to talk about this game that much. It's Georgia. I give up. I give up. Let me just say this about Georgia before we get into this game. Georgia is one of the most elite programs in the country. There, I finally said it. They're elite. They're great. They're amazing. They're dominant. All I'll say is this. If you think for a second that you're anywhere near Alabama, that you're the cream of the crop, that you're the standard, you're wrong. Now, are you working towards a dynasty with Kirby Smart? We don't know. It's way too early for that. They got 1 title. They got 1 title. They probably get a couple more. But to call them a dynasty, to sit there and make them the standard in college football is absolutely ridiculous. I said what I said. I gave you some credit there, though. But be happy. I haven't done that this year. Okay. For this game, 37-14 over Georgia Tech. Honestly, though, it looked better on paper than it did on the actual game. It was 7-3 Georgia Tech at the end of 1. Then Georgia goes up. It's 10-7 at the half. 10-7. Then they shut them out in the third. They score 13 points. They score 14, 2 touchdowns in the fourth in final quarter. And they give up a touchdown garbage time. Stetson Bennett was 10 of 16. I'm sorry, 10 of 18. 140 yards and 2 touchdowns. Kenny McIntosh, a great running back, 12 carries, 86 yards, and a touchdown. He also led the team in receiving, 2 receptions for 96 yards. Just overall, a great day for a great day for Kenny McIntosh. You have Zach Gibson, 19 of 35, 191 yards. He had a heck of a day, actually. I mean, Georgia Tech made big plays. They just had a hard time really coming away and finding time to score. So Dante Smith, led the team in rushing yards, 10 carries, 34 yards. You have Nate McCollum, 6 receptions, 65 yards. All throughout this game, Georgia had the win probability. I know I don't show that too often, but I'm just curious. Like, did it ever go down 98, 97, 96? Yeah, it went down, but it started to go back up around the third quarter. A turnover for each team. I don't know how Georgia fans feel about this game. You always want to dominate your rival. I would say Georgia did that. They had 16 first downs to Georgia Tech's 15. Each team with a turnover, 407 yards of offense. And they had more time of possession, more than half the game, 31 minutes and 6 seconds. So Georgia did their part, took care of Georgia Tech. They play LSU this week in the SEC Championship. We'll get a preview out for that later on and get it out this week. And we got a lot to preview for conference championships. We're going to preview a game tonight too. But 37-14 over Georgia Tech, Georgia Bulldogs. All right, we don't want to recap every game, but let's get a couple of the big ones. Let's see. Yeah, we're doing this. This will be fun. This will be fun. It's about time I see this happen. It's been a minute, hasn't it, South Carolina? Well, it's been a minute. 31-30 in the Palmetto Bowl. South Carolina on the road. You know how hard Death Valley is? You know how hard it is to beat Clemson on the road? Clemson had some mistakes in this game. Honestly. And they had some miscues. Say this. Y'all made a big mistake, Clemson, letting Tony Elliott and Brent go. I know they were destined to be head coaches and all this stuff. Y'all are not the same. Your season's over. You're not going to the playoffs. We're going to preview the ACC championship tonight. I don't know what to expect exactly this weekend. We'll see. What's up? Yeah, I don't know what to expect. 31-30 in the Palmetto Bowl. South Carolina dominates Clemson. Not really dominates. I mean, it came down to the last second. South Carolina found a way to get the victory. And Spencer Rattler looked amazing in this game. DJ Uiagalelei looked terrible. 8 for 29. 8 for 29 for 99 yards. Not even a whole football field. Had 1 touchdown. God. Had a pick. Oh, no. 8 of 29 for 99. Oh, my God. Oh, man. Will Shipley. I like Will Shipley. I think he's a good running back. 15 carries, 132 yards, and a rushing touchdown. Not bad. Bo Collins, the lead receiver for Clemson in this game. 2 receptions, 65 yards. Spencer Rattler played the game of his life, did what he had to do. 25 of 39, 360 yards even, 2 touchdowns, and 2 interceptions. You have Jaheim Bell, who runs the ball for South Carolina. 9 carries, 29 yards, and a touchdown. Then you have Antoine Wells Jr., 9 receptions, 131 yards, and 2 touchdowns. I'll say it like this. If Clemson has another performance like they had against the Gamecocks, if they have that against North Carolina, they're going to get killed on Saturday. I'll just leave it at that. 3 turnovers in the game for Clemson, 2 for South Carolina. South Carolina had more total yards, obviously more points and touchdowns, more time of possession, and less turnovers. Those categories are very important in a football game. South Carolina did what they had to do. Shane Beamer, I mean, he's not coach of the year or anything, but I promise you they're going to build off this season. 8-4 South Carolina. Bravo. I'm not doing that to troll. Bravo to South Carolina. 1 extra win this year than they had last year. That's improvement. You know what I'm saying? That's improvement. South Carolina's going up. Meanwhile, I'm just going to say it like this. Clemson's going down, down, down. Crazy, man. Oh, my gosh. That's all I got to say on Clemson, man. That's all I got to say. That's a big score. 56-7. No way. Georgia cannot score 56. Give up only 7. Based on LSU and what I saw against A&M, that makes plenty of sense on LSU's part. But 56 for Georgia, you got to be tripping, man. I'm sorry. Man. What else we got? Let's go ahead and talk about the Iron Bowl. We'll talk the Iron Bowl and then maybe another game, and then we'll preview the ACC championship. 49-27, Alabama over Auburn in the 87th Iron Bowl. Great win. I'm proud for Alabama. I don't like the performance, giving up all the points we gave up, but I thought we did really well. Bryce Young had an amazing day. I think the offense looked amazing. A lot of people are saying, based on our performance, that, it should be enough to maybe get a nod at the playoff. I doubt it. I personally look, I wish, but I'm just going to tell it like it is. Even though they were the 2 best losses that you could have asked for, I mean, we're talking about Tennessee and LSU. You got the SEC East runner-up, top 10 team, and you got the SEC West champions. Even though each were a possession game, 2 losses is 2 losses. This performance should impress the committee. It probably should, and it probably will. I'm sorry, Alabama's not going to the playoffs. They're 11-1, and they have one of those games back. That's one thing. 2 loss teams do not make the CFP. They never have, and in my opinion, probably never will. It takes a lot to get in. And quite honestly, I don't want Alabama in the playoffs because most likely they're going to have to face a Michigan or a Georgia. And I hate to admit it, and I'm not trying to bash my team, but you got to call it like it is. Alabama, even though they should be, is not on a championship level this season. It's not the players. It's not Coach Saban. Hell, it's not even the defense. You know who it is? It's Bill O'Brien. His play calling. It looked good in this Iron Bowl. But against the better teams, like in LSU, like at Tennessee, well, Tennessee was okay. But I'm just going to call it straight up. Bill O'Brien's got to go. I don't care where you go. I just want you to pack your bags and get out of Tuscaloosa. I said what I said. That's coming from a fan. Robbie Ashford in this game, 11 of 23, 77 yards and a touchdown. Not a whole lot of explosive plays for Auburn, although they were able to score quite a few points. They did good. Jarquez Hunter, 11 carries, 134 yards, no touchdowns. Well, that's not that big of a deal. Shedrick Jackson, 2 receptions of 26 yards. A couple field goals towards the end of the game. A touchdown each. I don't want to sit here and say it was luck. Robbie Ashford had a 24-yard run. Javarius Johnson had a 20-yard pass. Robbie Ashford had a 14-yard run. 2 of these touchdowns for Auburn were basically quarterback draws right up the middle, within 25 yards of the end zone. 395 yards for Auburn, 516 for Alabama. Auburn had more time of possession. 2 turnovers kept them out of this game. Less first downs kept them out of this game. 26 for Alabama, 21 for Auburn. Great Iron Bowl. Was it the best I've seen? No. Were there things Alabama could improve on? Absolutely. Did they play a good game, though? I thought they did. They beat their in-state rival, which is really what you could ask for. You know, I know the standard is championships, but I always just love beating Auburn. I'm going to just be open and honest with you. I'm happy we won the Iron Bowl. I'll take that any day. And of course, Auburn now, without Cadillac Williams, who I think should have had consideration for the job, because I think that he definitely turned some things around, these past few weeks. Hugh Freeze is now the head coach, breaking earlier this afternoon, which I think I did make a video and talk about. It's going to help recruiting. Hugh Freeze is a big name. Auburn is a big program. I mean, it's not special, but it's not a nobody. And just yeah. I don't know what's next for Cadillac Williams. I don't know. Hugh Freeze. I mean, Auburn has to go up, right? If they go 5-7 this year with Brian Harsin and an interim head coaching Carnell Williams, if they have to go up from here, you're looking at it. That's if they do this. You're looking at next year, and we'll do team previews in the spring. But they probably flip their record, right? They go 7-5. Maybe they get back to some 8-4, 9-3. I think it's a perfect hire with Hugh Freeze. I really do. We'll just have to wait and see what happens. But as far as this Iron Bowl, thought it went pretty well. I credit Auburn for making it a competitive game. Like I know Alabama pulled away, but for the most part, this was a good competitive game. You know, there were some plays Auburn was keeping it close and keeping it in there, and they did what they had to do. So, anyway, should we keep reviewing games? I don't know, because I'm ready to preview the game. What's up, Sorgi? Congrats on Luke Fickle. Jerry, no. Chess Hall's never coming back on this show. He's done. We're done. And, it's been fun. But I'm going to do what I can to keep this show alive, for sure. So. All right, we'll do one more, Nate. We'll do it for you. We'll talk about Michigan, Ohio State, and then we're going to preview a game. Let's see if I can find it on here. By the way, I don't know. Did I actually end up uploading the video? I might have accidentally deleted it. I don't know. Speaking of Michigan, Cade McNamara has entered the transfer portal. He has left the program. He's transferring. I do think the switch to JMP is important and crucial for the program, but I also think Cade McNamara did a lot of things for Michigan, especially last year, winning the Big Ten and, making the playoffs. So, 45-23, the final score, Michigan over the Buckeyes, 3-2. No surprise to me that Michigan won this game. I clearly, Ohio State has a better quarterback. But I'm going to tell you what, the receivers, the run game, that's all Michigan for sure. And it came down to, we knew there was going to be some offense in this game. We knew. The question was, who was going to put up more offense? Who was going to have, and that was Michigan. Third down efficiency, 7 of 16, Michigan. 5 of 16 for Ohio State, who had 23 first downs to Michigan 16. 530 yards in total for Michigan. This was obviously an offensive onslaught performance by both teams, but especially the Wolverines. They had more yards rushing, which is what really helps. I think Donovan Edwards and I don't think Blake Corum played, did he? Not that I remember. Someone let me know. But Donovan Edwards, 216 rushing yards, 22 carries, and 2 touchdowns. You had Chip Trayanum had 14 carries for 63 yards. I'm sorry, 83 yards. Ohio State, their run game is so soft, man. And I'm surprised CJ Stroud was able to have the game he had. I mean, man, it was horrendous out there for him. But somehow, CJ Stroud with 2 touchdowns, 300 plus yards, still threw 2 picks. I'm sorry, he's not winning the Heisman. I know we're not. I'm glad we're not getting in the playoffs. We would get killed, Matthew. Overall, I mean, it came down to who was going to have a better offensive game. Michigan has the better quarterback, has the better running back, has the better coaching, had the better offense. That's the game. That's what happened. And they will take on Iowa in a rematch of last year's game for the Big Ten title. Actually, let me double check that. I don't think it's Iowa, is it? Let me see. Who they playing? Don't tell me. Is it Purdue? Purdue. I'm sorry. I knew it was someone like Iowa or Purdue. Yeah. All right. That being said, don't forget, make sure you hit the thumbs up and subscribe. I really would appreciate it. And then let's go ahead. I want to preview Clemson, North Carolina. And we'll get some other conference title game previews out this week. We'll clip this and upload it to the channel so we have it on record. And yeah, let's get it going. Conference championship week is here, and we look to the ACC, Clemson and North Carolina. What did these teams have to lose? Absolutely nothing. They're both going bowling, probably in New Year's Six bowls. North Carolina, Clemson, no one's going to the playoffs. But I would say this, the winner of this game most likely gets a nod at Miami in the Orange Bowl. Not Miami Hurricanes. Absolutely not going to be the Miami Hurricanes. They go to Miami for the ball game. You look at this matchup, Mac Brown and Dabo Swinney. You have a 9-3 North Carolina team. You got a 10-2 Clemson team coming off a loss to South Carolina. I've mentioned my feelings on Clemson. I don't hate Clemson. I got Clemson fans in the family. Nothing but love and respect for them. The great people. But I love chaos, and I'd love to see an upset. The spread is 7.5 in favor of the Tigers. The over-under is 63.5. And this will be a good game. I really do think that I do think Clemson can cover. But they're not going to go in there, I don't think, and just blow out North Carolina. 5-star quarterback Drake May has played lights out this year. Over 3,000 yards, 35 touchdowns, 5 picks. Got to do a better job at reading the defenses. DJ's got to do a better job too. He's got 7 picks, 22 touchdowns, over 2,000 yards. Call it what it is. I'm sorry. I don't know what's wrong with DJ Uyunglele. The guy needs help. Drake May, in this matchup, going into it, is the better quarterback. And I'll just leave it there. Dual threat, 5-star. He has taken North Carolina to new heights this year. And he's just getting started. I think he's a freshman. If he's coming back, Could you imagine North Carolina and Mac Brown? Like, it has to go up, right? Don't take my word for it. But it has to go up from here, doesn't it? In some ways. Josh Downs, the lead receiver, 83 receptions, 929 yards, and 11 touchdowns. Antonio Williams for Clemson, 50 receptions, 523 yards, and 4 touchdowns. Again, the spread is 7.5. Both of these teams, by the way, are actually coming off losses from rivalry weekend. That's what I think makes it so interesting. Clemson has a 77.7. You can technically round that up to 78% chance to win. Round North Carolina's 22.3 to 22. I understand favoring Clemson in the game. I understand that. But if you think for a second that North Carolina cannot compete, I think you're mistaken. This is going to be a good game on Saturday. In fact, this is going to be the one I think I go live for if I get a chance to go live for any games. If I get a chance to go live for this one, we'll go live for it. This should be a good matchup. I'm excited. I think if you're Clemson, got to have offense right out the gate. You can't be sloppy and sloppy play. Just got to, because I think North Carolina is going to have their foot on the gas on offense. And I think it's one of those where Clemson just has to have the answers for it. And I think to an extent that they will. I really do. I think they had some good offense against Miami a couple weeks ago. And even in the game against South Carolina, they beat teams like Syracuse, Louisville, struggled against Notre Dame 35-14. North Carolina, not only are they losing or coming off a loss, they're coming off 2 losses, one of which to Georgia Tech. They struggle in the close games. Both of those games have been close. If this is a close game in the fourth quarter, unless North Carolina is up, do not take the Tar Heels. Because the pressure gets on them, and Mac Brown and everybody kind of shuts down. Not saying they don't know what to do. They just, well, that's basically it. They don't know what to do. If they're down in the fourth quarter, don't count on them coming back. If Clemson is losing in the fourth quarter and you're North Carolina, even if it's up by a point, just run the clock out. Keep Clemson off the field, man. Keep DJ on the bench. And you have a really, really good chance at it. That being said, I'll make this one quick on you guys, and then we'll get out of here. I'm going to say Clemson does win the game. The question is, will they cover? Actually, based on my score prediction, I do have them covering the 7.5. I think what it comes down to is that it's a close game. You got to ask yourself, even though it has fallen apart a little bit these past couple years, is Clemson still one of the dominant programs in football? In my opinion, I say that they are. I think they're still recruiting. I think they just got to let some guys go, make some decisions, fix the coaching staff. I think if they do that, they're okay. Clemson's the better team in this game. Clearly. They're the better program. They're still a great program. And they have to do a lot in this matchup to win. And I think they'll do that. I think they got some vengeance. I think that they have a chip on their shoulder going into the game, coming off a loss. Oh, but what about North Carolina? Aren't they coming off a loss too? Fair point. So it kind of goes both ways. But I do, even though I know we make fun of Dabo Swinney a little bit, how he complains to the media, how he kind of cries, and there's this issue now at the program, or this program, this issue, that issue. He's still a good head coach. He's still one of the best, top 3, if not top 5. I go ahead and I give you a score prediction. I'm going to say really close by 8 points. 8 points. Clemson covers the 7.5. I say 31-23. And I think North Carolina just comes up shy. I think the Clemson defense holds on at the end of the game. Maybe they get the ball back and they can kneel it out. But Clemson will win, and I think it's going to be Clemson getting the nod as the ACC team to pretty much make it to the Orange Bowl in Miami. Who they play, I don't know. Maybe Alabama. I'd actually like Alabama and Clemson this year. That might be a fun matchup. The 2 struggle buses. Put them on the field. Let's play. But 31-23 is my final score. The ACC championship this weekend. And there's plenty more conference games to preview as we get set for conference championship weekend. All right. I pretty much went through everything that I wanted to. I previewed a game. We talked about some games. I'm going to go ahead and get off here. I don't know why my voice is sore. I don't know if y'all can hear it or anything. I don't know what's going on. It's been a long day for me. I'm going to relax, maybe just watch some TV, and then get some rest tonight. I hope everyone has a great rest of your week, and I hope to get some good content out. But I am going to be working really hard at school, and as we got the semester closing. But happy holidays, by the way. It is after Thanksgiving, so I guess we can start saying Merry Christmas. Look, we got our tree up. We've had it up since the week of Thanksgiving. So there's that. And, I'm excited. I love this time of year. And it's always a special time to look forward to. But plenty more videos coming out, plenty more live streams this week. And going forward, of course, here at Ballard Sports Media. I love you guys. Jesus loves you. He's got a great plan. Keep your head up. Please like, comment, and subscribe right here to Ballard Sports Media for more sports content. And until next time, folks, Ballard Sports Media. Check it out. Love y'all. Peace. Roll Tide.